Hey everyone, it's SG Holy Man, and welcome back to another video game review. This time I'm going to be reviewing the narrative platformer from ThroughLine Games and Square Enix, Forgotton Anne. Forgotton Anne has an interesting premise that's all set up by this cool world that the game builds for the story. Forgotton Anne takes place in a magical world that's filled with inanimate objects that have been forgotten by humans. And when these inanimate objects get to this world, they gain sentience and try to live out a normal life. And you play as a girl named, Anne, and she's what's called the Enforcer, and basically, she's above the police as she can go around and try and keep order in this world. And at the beginning, you're set up with the main narrative hook of a rebellion attack, and throughout the game, you just go through and try and stop the rebellion, basically. So, like I said, it's a cool world, and it's all helped by the fact that this game looks absolutely gorgeous. I love the sprite work. It's all really well done, and it's fairly well animated. And I also like all the background work that went into this game. It's fairly dark, and I don't know. It's just really interesting, and it really helps bring this world together. The one thing that is a little lacking is that the music is just okay. It doesn't really stand out, but it just kind of is there. So it's just nothing really to write home about. And another thing that I really like about this game is that it has pretty good characters. My favorite character in the game is probably Chief Inspector Magnum, but there's a bunch of other cool characters that you'll find throughout the game, and it's fun to interact with them. Sorry, there's an audio bug there. But yeah, it's fun to interact with the characters, and the game itself is linear, but you can explore, and you are rewarded for exploring by finding what's called mementos, and you just meet other characters which are once again fun to interact with, and it really helps flesh out this world that the game is building. The one problem I have with the game is that the main plot is predictable. As soon as you find out what's going on, you can kind of guess how the game's going to end. And the game does try to have some twists and turns, and maybe one or two work. But other than that, you just kind of know where the game's going. And for me, that was just hard to get invested in what was actually going on. So throughout the game, you do make choices. And the one thing I do like is that they don't tell you that the choice you're about to make is right or wrong or anything. You just make a choice, and then later on you'll find out what your choice actually affected. And while I'm sure that the choices can have a pretty big effect on the story and what's going on, I just was not invested enough to go back and play the game again. So, as I said before, this game looks really good. It also runs pretty good. I didn't notice any frame rate dips or anything like that while playing, so it's good on a technical level. And as I said at the top, this is a platformer, and it's not great as a platformer. The movement itself is a little weird, and I'm not talking about input lag. It's just it takes a minute for your character to actually start going somewhere. If you want to turn around, it takes a minute for her to stop and turn around to start moving the other way. And while you get used to it fairly early on, it is something to note. So that might annoy you, it might not. Like I said, I kind of got used to it as I played. The one thing that is truly bad is the jumping. It's just, like I said, it's really bad and inconsistent. I failed multiple platforming sections because the jumping and the arcs are inconsistent at best. And I know that a game like this isn't really meant to be enjoyed from a gameplay sense, and I normally would forgive gameplay like this if I was invested in the story, but since I wasn't really invested in the narrative that was being told, the gameplay annoyances really just came in and helped add to the frustration. Um, that being said, though, there are a lot of puzzles as you go through the game, and some of them are fairly good. They're pretty easy, though, which I'm okay with because you don't need a lot of hard puzzles in a game like this. I'd rather have easy puzzles to challenge me a little bit. I only got stuck on one. It was fairly early on. But other than that, they're easy and a joy to get through. Um, and one more like quick complaints I have. I should have put this in earlier, but I didn't, and it's not on my notes, but I just thought about it. I do think the game is a tad too long. I think you could have cut maybe 30 minutes of this game and it would have been a little better. But otherwise, that's it for my review. And now I'll get on to my final thoughts. Forgotten Anne is just okay. I was going to call it average, but I do think the $20 that the game asks for is fair, and I think it does help out this game a little bit. And while I do like the world that this game built, and it has some cool characters and some funny moments in its dialogue, I just wasn't that invested in the story, and the gameplay was fairly bad. That being said, though, if you are looking for something interesting to play and you want something to play like over the weekend, you may want to look at this and give it a shot. Otherwise, I feel like you can pass on Forgotten Anne. That being said, that is it for this review. If you liked what you've seen, you can go ahead and like this video, share it with your friends, subscribe to my channel for more game reviews, streams, and all the good gaming stuff. Thank you guys for watching, and I will see you next time.